1997 में एक अमेरिकन कंपनी ने बासमती चावल का पेटेंट ले लिया। अब वैसे तो बासमती चावल इंडिया का है, लेकिन अमेरिकन कंपनी ने पेटेंट ले लिया है, तो उस कंपनी से बिना पूछे हुए आप भारत में ना बासमती चावल उगा सकते हैं, ना ही बेच सकते हैं, ना बासमती की किसी भी वैरायटी को कॉपी कर सकते हैं। यानी इंडिया का चावल, लेकिन आप इंडिया में उसका कुछ नहीं कर सकते।
Have you ever wondered how ancient knowledge and natural resources have been stolen in the name of science and businesses? This is called biopiracy, the unethical exploitation of biological resources and traditional knowledge.
What was the problem? What was the disease? The disease was farmers are saving seed. Now, a patent is a right of an inventor to exclude anyone else from making, using, selling, distributing what is invented. The problem is when it comes to seed, seed is not an invention. Seed evolves, farmers co-evolve with the seed to breed varieties. Seed is evolution. And I'm so glad Pope Francis has said evolution happens.
And it is a problem that is bigger than you think. Stay with me for the next 20 minutes as we uncover the dark side of the biopiracy.
नीम एक मेडिसिनल प्लांट विद अमेजिंग एंटी फंगल एंड एंटी बैक्टीरियल पावर्स। इसको 1995 में एक यूएस कंपनी ने पेटेंट करा लिया था। फिर ईयर 2000 में एक इंडियन एनजीओ ने इसका पेटेंट रिवोक कराया। हल्दी के साथ भी कुछ ऐसा ही हुआ। 1995 में यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ मिसिसिपी के कुछ रिसर्चर्स ने इसे पेटेंट कराने का ट्राई किया, पर सीएसआर ने 1997 में इसको रिवोक कराया। और इसके अलावा 1997 में बासमती राइस भी इसी पेटेंटिंग गेम में फंस गया। फिर 2001 में इंडियन गवर्नमेंट ने इसे पालसरी रिवोक कराया। ये थे बायोपायरेसी के कुछ केसेस। बायोपायरेसी मतलब बायोलॉजिकल रिसोर्सेज और ट्रेडिशनल नॉलेज को पेटेंट करा लेना बिना उसके ओरिजिन को एक्नॉलेज किए हुए। और इसी तरह के बायोपायरेसी और मिसएप्रोप्रिएशन से बायोडायवर्सिटी और ट्रेडिशनल नॉलेज को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए ही इंडिया हैज एनेक्टेड सेवरल लॉज एंड पॉलिसीज सच एज the Biological Diversity Act 2002, the Protection of Plant Varieties and Farmers' Rights Act 2001, the Traditional Knowledge Digital Library, और अभी 2020 में इसके रिगार्डिंग इंडिया ने अपने पेटेंट रूल्स को भी अपडेट किया। So that's how India is protecting its traditional knowledge and biodiversity.
First, I am explained about what is biopiracy. Biopiracy happens when corporations, government, or even scientists take biological resources like plant, animals, and microorganisms from a particular region or a community without proper recognitions or compensation. For example, a neem tree from India used in pesticides by patented by the companies in the West, and another example is turmeric. It used in a traditional medicine but patenting for a wood healing in the US.
लेकिन सिंस इंडिया ने पेटेंट नहीं करवाया था तो पता है ये बासमती राइस हमारा होते हुए भी हमारा नहीं है। मतलब 1997 में अमेरिकन कंपनी ने इसका पेटेंट करवा लिया था थ्रू यूएस पेटेंट एंड ट्रेडमार्क ऑफिस, तो ये हमारा होते हुए हमारा नहीं है। बासमती राइस कहां से आया? तो बिकॉज ऑफ दिस पेटेंट ये एक्चुअली यूएस का प्रोडक्ट कहलाता है।
Apart from this is not just about the plant. It extends to animals, microorganisms, and even human genetic material. So let's discuss about the history of a biopiracy. Biopiracy is not new. It dates back to colonial times when explorers took plants and medicines from indigenous land and commercialized them.
One can say that colonization or colonialism is a child of slavery. A child in the sense that the enslaver makes you into an object. An enslaver dehumanizes you. An enslaver sees you as a chattel. An enslaver does not treat you as a human being. Conversely, colonialism, which is a refinement of slavery, pretends that it is different. It is different to the extent that external control is imposed. But still, you are under control and you are considered to be inferior.
But the issue has escalated in modern times due to patents and intellectual property rights. Moreover, these cases show how indigenous knowledge was exploited without giving anything in return.
The British Empire ran on control over the textile industry and the raw material for the textile industry. And the living seed was being reduced to raw material for the biotechnology industry. Because you don't invent the seed, you take it from somewhere. Usually you just steal it. And so much of my life has gone in dealing with what I call biopiracy.
So next I am a talk about the role of big pharma and corporation. Pharmaceuticals and agriculture companies are some of the biggest players in biopiracies. They extract genetic materials, develop medicines or GMO and file patents often without sharing benefits with the original knowledge holders.
The plants and crops that third world farmers have evolved. In Navdanya, we started to save everything. And then in 99, we had a cyclone in Orissa, and the salt-tolerant seeds we had saved were able to bring back agriculture. 2004, you might remember the Asian tsunami. And the waves came in 3 miles. There was salt on the land. The government gave up and said, for 5 years, we won't be able to do agriculture. And we said, no, we can. We'll bring you salt-tolerant seeds from Orissa. And we carried 2 truckloads from the farmers of Orissa to the farmers of Tamil Nadu. And within a season, they had a crop.
So next I am discussing about how patents enable biopiracies. Patents allow company to claim ownership over natural resources, but they should really able to patent something that has existed for centuries. In addition to this, India fought against turmeric and neem patent won. The struggle of indigenous community to prove ownership, along with this raises ethical and legal concern. Is it fair for corporation to own nature?
Fought against it and challenged the system. Now we are going to have with us Dr. Raghunath Mashelkar and listen to the story from the warrior himself. The moniker of the warrior of Haldigati, that is what you are being known as. And this title triggers our interest in turmeric battle. So we would like to know firstly, when did you come across this turmeric patent issue and what was your first reaction to it?
Well, I remember being in Delhi as Director General of CSIR, and it was in the year 1997. I remember I was reading Times of India, and there was a newspaper report by a correspondent. His name was N. Suresh, if I remember correctly, and that carried a very surprising news that the wound healing properties of turmeric were patented in United States of America. And I said, how come? Because patents are always granted when there is something new, there is something novel. They are not granted if 3 criteria are not met: novelty, non-obviousness and utility. And I said, obviously this cannot meet it because this has been used for centuries by our ancestors.
So next I am explain about impact on indigenous communities. Biopiracy directly affects those who have protected and nurtured to these resources for generation. I have to explain these points. First is loss of traditional knowledge. Second is economic struggles. Farmer forced to pay royalties. Third is ecological damage. Over harvesting of rare plants. Apart from this is more than a legal issue. It is a humanitarian crisis.
Now, everyone's talking about the Ukraine war and Russia, but the reason African countries are hungry is because their ability to produce their food was destroyed by the right to dump by Cargill. Cargill wrote the agreement on agriculture, and then the junk food industry, the Pepsis and Cokes and Nestle's, wrote the sanitary and phytosanitary agreement and created the Codex Alimentarius to shut down healthy food and pushed the food that gave us illnesses, 75% chronic diseases. This is not a conspiracy. There is evidence that the corporations wrote the rules, then it created the billionaires. Now the billionaires rule the world. For me, the optimism is a pathetic group of ignorant, selfish men are not more powerful than all the people who occupied the palace of the president in Sri Lanka. The farmers who've occupied the streets of Netherlands. People have power. We've been made to think we are inert. We've been made to think nature is insert.
So last I am discuss about famous biopiracy cases. First is rice basmati. USA company tried to patent a traditional rice variety. Second is rosy periwinkle. used in cancer treatment, but Madagascar received no compensation. Third is Andean maca, used for energy and fertility, patented without Peruvian involvement. Moreover, these cases show highlight the urgent need for protection.
Legal proceedings by electronics giant Samsung against rival Apple are gaining pace. Following similar motions in France and Italy, Samsung has filed preliminary injunction motions in Australia and Japan to stop the sale of Apple's new iPhone 4S in those countries. Samsung has accused Apple of violating its patent rights and says the company co-founded by the late Steve Jobs is getting a free ride on its technology. Samsung is also appealing against an Australian court decision to grant an injunction over its Galaxy tablet computer, and it's trying to stop the sale of the iPhone 4 and iPad 2 in Japan.
Biopiracy is a silent crisis, but it is one we can fight. By valuing and respecting indigenous knowledge, we can ensure a fair, more sustainable world. Share this video, spread awareness, and let's stand against biopiracy together. If you found this video is informative, so don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching and I will see you in the next video.